Welcome to Roots in Lowell, the Mill City Girls podcast. Hello everyone, I'm Enrique as usual, and this is a new episode of the Mill City Girls podcast. Roots in Lowell is the name, and for this episode, I sat down and talked with Daphnne and Savannah, which are the members of our school education team here at Mill City Girls. Since the summer is just wrapped up and school just started, I wanted to sit down with them and talk about how was the program during this summer, so everyone could take a little bit of an insight of how the program works during the summer and what are their plans for this upcoming school year. They shared great stories from the garden this summer, and we can say we got a little sneak peek of what's to come for this year when it comes to partnerships with the school education team and some of our new partners. So I really hope you enjoy this conversation because we had a lot of fun doing this conversation here at the MCG headquarters. So yeah, without further ado, here we go. I'm here with MCG's, for a half of MCG's head team, which is like it's a team of two, but it's not the half of the other team. But I would like for y'all to introduce yourselves because we have a new face that started this season with us. I'm
Daphnne, the school education manager.
Hello, world. I'm Savannah, the new education coordinator. Happy to be here.
Hey.
Hey.
All right. So I have one of the main questions that I have for y'all because I know you two work together a lot. So what is your focus in general when it comes to a team, to education?
Main focus, we spend a lot of our time in the school gardens. So we are meeting with kids in the school garden to do a lot of after-school programming. So getting our hands dirty, looking at plants, looking at bugs, trying some new foods. During summer, we have field trips out to the farm. So that's kind of a third of our work. Kids will come to us and be in our space.
Okay.
Seeing how plants grow again, getting our hands dirty, just doing fun activities outside.
All right. So you're saying like we just finished the summer, school's about to start, right? And you were saying how like in the summer, these kids come to our program and you like guide them on our farm and teach them all these things. So what are some of the things that y'all accomplished this summer that you would say like are big things that you did?
I think this summer just having kids outside is a huge accomplishment. That's, again, a huge goal. Getting kids outside, getting their hands dirty. We were tasting tomatoes fresh off the plant, cucumbers, peppers. We actually had a really popular cucumber grown by Farmer Chris of Horn Family Farms.
Yeah.
The sashimi, that was a winner. Every kid was like, yes, it's so good. Can we eat more? And that's one they've not seen before. You don't really see that in the store. They don't see it in their lunches. So it's a cucumber, which they know what that is, but then you have this different kind. It's got a little different flavor, a little different texture, and the kids get to try it and they learn something new.
That is awesome. And I know like the farm has this sensory garden. Can you talk about that a little bit? Because that's like something that like I always hear about. Like I've seen it, but what is the sensory garden?
The sensory garden is a really, really beautiful space in the back of the farm. Our farm over at Mill City Grows is like 4 acres, so it's an enormous plot of land.
Yeah.
So we have this nice little back corner. I call it the corner office of the farm.
The corner office?
It's the corner office because when you're back there, you can see the whole farm. This year we installed this ongoing fun art project that we're calling the Nature Shade. So we're just finding like used materials outside, all nature materials like old grasses, corn stalks, just anything that's cool and dried, and we're hand weaving it, and we're just making this fun shade because it does get a lot of sun out there. So we want kids to be able to sit. There's picnic tables, and it's really just a beautiful outdoor classroom. So there's like a wildflower area. We have some herbs. There's some twisty, fun pathways, and it's just a place that you can sit and absorb with all of your senses, your sight, your sound, your smells, touch, everything, and just observe nature and feel really at home.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So awesome.
All right.
We hosted a professional development out there this summer. It was just a couple of, maybe last week even. And I was like, this is the first time, and we'd been working really hard all summer, just weeding the space and maintaining it, landscaping it, and taking care of it. And towards the end of the summer, I said, this is the first time I've really enjoyed this space. Like, we worked really hard to make it nice, but I got to sit there. I got to do a nature illustration of some grass. We were facilitated by Mass Audubon. Melissa had us doing a really cool activity, and I was participating in her activity. And I was drawing grass, and later on we ate lunch out there. And I was like, wow, if this is how kids feel when they're out here, I think we're doing a pretty good job. It was really fun.
Oh, do you have any similar stories that you want to share?
Yeah, so there's kind of two parts to our little back corner. We have the sensory garden, which Savannah just mentioned, and then we have the ed garden, which is where we grow all the veggies and flowers that we use for programming.
Mm-hmm.
So this year we have 3 tunnels covered in beans that are purple and yellow. We have one,
And
yes,
green?
we have green ones too, but yeah, not as exciting as the purple and yellow ones.
Yeah, purples, yeah.
One is covered in bitter melon, which is a new one for us.
Ooh.
I've never grown bitter melon before. I think Savannah did. She tried a recipe with it, so we've kind of gone all the way. We've grown it, we've eaten it. That's been fun this year. And then we have a watermelon and pumpkin tunnel. So there's
Watermelon and pumpkin.
Yes, there's watermelon trellising up the side of one side of it, and then pumpkins going up the other. And there's a pumpkin hanging right in the center. You have to like duck under it to get through this tunnel because there's a pumpkin growing.
Oh, tell them about the hammocks.
Yeah, we have watermelon hanging up too, and we had to make little hammocks for them because they're like 3 feet off the ground. Otherwise, the vine would just break. So we had to make a little hammock out of a net.
For the melon?
For the melons, yeah.
So for a second, I thought you were talking like the hammock. It was like something that you added for like actual resting people. You know, like
Yes. These are like 10, 15-pound watermelons just like suspended in midair by a hammock.
Yeah. Wow.
Revolutionary farming.
Revolutionary. I mean,
Yeah.
like they are definitely resting in there, taking their time. Those watermelons. So now I'm gonna move on a little bit because I was like pretty much just kind of concluded, right? Like the summer, and now we are moving into the school year. Literally, like today is like Tuesday, the first day of school for mostly everyone, at least in our schools. So. And I think our question that I get a lot too when I'm outside, like, you know, like walking around town and everything, is like, what do we do with our school garden beds in specific? So I'm asking you now, so like, what do you do in your school garden beds throughout the year when you're in the school year and also of the school year?
Mm-hmm. During the school year, we do all of our programming outside for as long as we can, as long as the weather allows. So going back in the fall, we'll be exploring what's been growing all summer. Some schools have pumpkins, sunflowers, onions, zinnias, peppers. So we'll just go out there together and see what's growing. And then we'll use that for any taste tests we want to do or any recipes we want to try with the kids. We do a lot of scavenger hunts. Scavenger hunts are really fun in the school gardens, especially in the fall, because everything's been growing all summer long.
Yeah.
Everything's huge, it's full of fruits and veggies, so making scavenger hunts is really fun. Look for bugs. Fall's also a fun time to look for bugs. We have a really cool microscope set, so we can put things under the microscopes. Yeah, they're really fun. They're super kid-friendly, so they're small, they don't need electricity or anything, and we can carry them wherever, so we can put anything underneath them and check it out.
Yeah, what are some of the cool things that the kids have said with the microscopes that they like kind of like, you know, like they'll go like, come on, look at this, you know?
Oh man, so you can set a kid up with a microscope with any materials that you think are interesting, but you might as well not do that because the kid is going to find their own thing that looks really interesting. And it's mostly just amazing when they get something like perfectly in focus and they want to show it to you so bad. And I just can't wait to look at whatever it is they're going to show me. Oh man, we've seen things that look like alien and octopus limbs. Like their imagination goes wild. Like when they get something like really focused, it's like they'll tell you what it looks like and you're like, oh yeah, definitely. It definitely looks like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, and actually I wanted to like you all to elaborate on something you mentioned too, because I know that you do the taste tests and you kind of mentioned it briefly. So for someone who like like I know what they are because, like we work together. But like for someone that may not like know that we do these taste tests, what do they entail?
So maybe you're taking one common fruit or vegetable, like we'll say a tomato, right? And kids are familiar with a tomato. Maybe they've eaten a tomato before. But what we're testing is different varieties and different variations of the tomato. So maybe they have like one nice big red heirloom tomato, and then maybe we have a little cherry tomato, and then maybe we have like an orange tomato. And like maybe they've never seen an orange tomato before, or maybe they've never thought of the word heirloom and like what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so like when we look at it, like we have 3 different things and we look at them whole and we talk about how they're similar and they're different. And then maybe the next step is like we'll cut them all in half and we'll like look at the cross sections of each and talk about that. And then the best part is we're all going to taste it. So we cut a little slice, and I want to shout out our interns from the whole past last year, Corey and David. Shout out. Hope you guys are listening. They did a really wonderful job facilitating the taste test over our summer field trips this year. And did they do it last year too? A little bit last year. Yeah, they practiced last year and they really mastered it this year. And I'm just asking Daphnne because I'm not even lapped a whole year of working here. So my knowledge has only started since like February. But yeah, and then they'll facilitate it. Kids will taste it. And it's a really cool ranking system. We do a thumbs up, I liked it. Kind of like thumbs to the side, it was okay. And then just a no thanks. Didn't really care for that. And every kid gets to vote, and their tally goes in each of those categories, and we total them up, and that's how we know that the sashimi cucumber was the winner. A lot of thumbs up.
Cucumber. You know what?
I've never had one.
I never had one.
Yeah.
Thank
you, Chris. Farmer Chris.
Thank you, Farmer Chris. All right. And now, like I was saying again, like literally the school year is upon us. These are some of the things that y'all do, but what are some of the things that you are planning for this school year coming up? Aside from the things that you kind of regularly do that you mentioned as well.
Yeah, we have all of our programming happening, and this summer we've kind of taken a step back to figure out how to help schools make the school garden more sustainable. That's an issue that schools run into a lot of the time. Maybe they just have 1 or 2 people involved, and gardening can be hard. Like it takes
It is
time.
very hard. Yeah.
Weeding, harvesting, planting, and teachers are so busy.
Yeah.
So it can be a big ask. So we've kind of been creating all kinds of resources for teachers to use to maybe get more teachers involved, to create a watering schedule that's accessible and easy for a lot of people. We actually learned that the Career Academy has a community garden type style garden. So the school uses some of the garden beds, and then there are people in the neighborhood who use a few others.
That's
and then
awesome.
they share like maintenance schedules. So someone is watering one day, and then maybe a teacher from the school is watering another day.
That is awesome.
So we've been kind of working on things like that to help schools, make it a little easier for schools, because it can be a big task.
All right.
We also recently just built a brand new garden at the Green Alge this summer. And we also built one at the very end of the school year at CCSL, which stands for the Collegiate Charter School of Lowell.
The Collegiate School? Oh, yeah, that's a new school.
Yeah. And so that's amazing. And so we just finished filling, or maybe 1 more yard of soil is needed at the Green Alge. Oh, we did not fill it. We topped it off, but it was filled with the students of summer school.
Yeah. So the students themselves fill the garden.
Oh, that's the best part.
Awesome.
Oh, tiny. We're talking tiny wheelbarrows. We're talking a conveyor belt relay team with kids hoisting 5-pound buckets and carrying them relay style to the bed and team dumping it in. And it's really beautiful. And yeah, these kids are moving yards and yards of soil and compost all day long. It's hardcore, but it's hard work. And then they feel like really invested in their garden. So we're really excited for the Green Alge specifically because we worked on that one over the summer.
And what was the previous one that you guys built?
CCSL.
Yeah, and the one that was the other one that you mentioned? The Shaughnessy. Okay.
Last fall. That one's not even a year old yet.
Oh, wow. So with that, how many school gardens are there to this point?
If we're talking just all of Lowell.
All of Lowell.
Oh, 21?
21, I think.
Yeah.
And that's just that is 21 school gardens. and you support pretty much all of them. I mean, at least it's some more directly, I'm guessing, than some others, obviously, because there are only two, right? But it's still like 21 gardens.
Yeah, there's different levels of capacity. Some schools don't even need us. We drove by the McAvenue the other day. Their garden is beautiful.
Yeah.
They have a great teacher who takes care of it. The school uses it. It's stunning. The Maury School Garden is beautiful. We also don't really go there. They have a great team. So, but then some schools need a lot of love. So it's kind of figuring out that balance and where we fit in.
That is awesome. And yeah, to be closing, what is that you're looking forward the most this year?
Ooh. You can go first.
Okay. Last year, we started a really cool partnership with the Lowell High School Culinary Department. So our interns, Corey and David, last year came from Lowell High School. This next coming year, we're going to get high school interns from a different place. But we're going to maintain our partnership with Lowell High School because we're aiming to build them a small garden plot at our greenhouse because Lowell High is under construction right now.
Yep.
And so we really want to give them a stable space that they can grow whatever food they want. They've got a little courthouse garden in their back, but like I say, their whole school is under construction.
Yeah,
so we want to give them a nice temporary home. They can come grow herbs or whatever they want in our greenhouse space, which is just a walk away for them. We hosted them. They did some cooking for our staff one day in our root kitchen and treated us to lunch. Daphnne and I went and did some programming with their department, and they treated us to lunch at their cafe. So I'm feeling really treated to lunch. Shout out to their cafe and their whole team. And I'm just like looking forward to more growing and more good eats with Lowell High.
Awesome.
That's a great answer. That was such a fun program. They have such a cool program. Yeah. Always looking forward to being with kids in the garden. But I think this year we've kind of grown our relationship with Mass Audubon and Lowell Parks and Conservation Trust.
Yeah.
And just last week we had a PD with Mass Audubon, and we were talking about how we can connect as organizations in the garden, because that's just another set of eyes or another group of kids that are doing programming in the garden. And I think that just takes it to the next level. We can just have more people out in the garden doing garden things, outdoor things, just being outside. I'm really excited about what could come from that.
That is awesome. Well, I will thank you both so much for doing this. This was an awesome talk. I'm actually like wanna like see the gardens now, every single one of them. Right now, you just like got me in garden mode. So I wanna go there right now. So
let's go.
Thank you. Let's go. All right. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Enrique.
Thank you, Enrique.
All right.
Thanks for listening.